How does one increase your self esteem? Do you want to increase your self esteem? If you do, I can tell you how. I'm not going to be long. I'm just going to give you one tip. I'm going to tell you how I did it. So, for me, growing up, I was always, told that I was smart, but I wasn't that smart, right? That I have to work two or three times harder than anyone else in order to achieve the same job or achieve the same goal. So, I believed it. But what happened was I had the opportunity to learn West African dance. And of course, this was later, later on, like in my 20s. But I'm mentioning this to you is because I didn't realize it then. But looking back on it, I now realize that that is how I began to rebuild my foundation and actually create or increase my self-confidence was by learning West African dance. And learning West African dance, what that did was take me outside of my comfort zone. And I know you've heard people talk about that, right? Coaches constantly tell you over and over again to go outside of your comfort zone. And it is so true. It is so true. I mean, literally, I had been dancing all of my life. I did the basic ballet, modern, tap, jazz. I even did gymnastics, right? So I consider myself a dancer, and I was a good dancer, and I could always do choreography, pick up routines, things of that nature, execute well. And so learning African dance when I first started going to a it was an Afro Haitian class. And I remember I took it at Wayne State. I had to take an elective. So I was like, you know what? I'll jump in this dance class. I figured out I'll do something different. I need an elective. Maybe this would be fun or interesting at the least. So I just knew that, it hadn't even occurred to me that I was going to look crazy. That I was going to look crazy in this class, trying to pick up this dance style. So I started taking the class and it was amazing. I mean, when I tell you it was nothing like anything I had ever done. I had never danced barefoot before. I had never danced in or what's called a lapa or some sort of a skirt, like a free flowing skirt or either a lapa that you wrap around. I had never danced in that before. I never danced barefoot. I had never even heard African drum music, much less danced to it, right? And I had never actually sang and danced at the same time. So all of that was like new for me. And even just the way the classes were set up, the live drummers, listening to what they call the break, right? I don't know, maybe if you're a musician, you might know, or what I'm talking about, or if you've done an African dance class, you know what the break is. What the break is that symbolizes for you to either start or for you to either change the movement, right? So it's one particular movement that they're, I mean, one particular rhythm that they're playing, and then the break is like something that kind of takes you, out. So let's just say it's like pop ba da pop ba da pop pop. That's just the first thing that came in my mind. But that's like a really common break. So you can be dancing, doing one thing, blah 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 blah, and then you hear that pa da pop pop ba da pop pop, and that means you're supposed to switch the movement, right? So all of that was like new to me. So I just remember being in the classes and we'd be doing the choreography and everybody goes and going this way and I'm going this way. I literally felt like I had two left feet. I remember feeling so embarrassed. Like I would like try to hide behind people. I didn't want to look at myself in the mirror. Just very, very embarrassed and, just very shy and just afraid to mess up, afraid to look silly and all of that kind of stuff, right? Which being afraid to look silly or being reluctant, that's something that we all have struggled with at one time or another, right? Especially as adults. Like kids is one thing, kids can get on a bike, fall down, not a big deal. They get right back up and be right back at it. They don't think nothing of it. But as we get older, we start that whole idea of not wanting to look silly, not wanting to feel stupid, not wanting to be embarrassed really sets in and it holds us back from going outside of our comfort zone with a lot of different things. So this was that for me. I really had no idea what to expect. I went to the class. I was like, this is fire, right? So I started going to other African dance classes, shall I say. Different styles. I took that one class, then I took another class and another, right? And I was so captivated. And then finally, or along the way, shall I say, this one particular rhythm called Sabah is spelled S-A-B as in boy, A-R, which is from the Wolof people of Senegal, West Africa. When I tell you, that is fire, okay? When I first saw people, I heard the drums and I saw people dancing. I mean, I was flabbergasted. I was speechless. And I said to myself, I don't care what it takes. I am going to learn that dance. Okay? I am going to learn that dance. And Sabah can be a very complicated, very complex set of rhythms. So it's not just one rhythm, of course. It's a whole slew of rhythms that come, that are done by the Wolof people. And they're done for different reasons, right? And so I'm saying all that to say you learn one rhythm, you might get that, but doesn't mean this one, this one, this one. You know what I mean? So it's an ongoing learning process, right? But what that taught me was that at the end of the day, regardless to me not knowing or not understanding, if I am consistent, I am dedicated, consistent and dedicated, that I can learn it. I can do it, whatever I set my mind to. Then that basic principle from going outside of my comfort zone on a regular basis, feeling silly, feeling crazy, feeling like I got two left feet, but I was still back there next week for more, right? And I eventually started learning, and I began to feel comfortable. Not that I knew it all, because I didn't, but I began to learn, and it grew my confidence. It grew my self-confidence because I began to learn and trust in myself. And that's what the self-confidence piece is. And when you have that, right, you are able to take that and apply that to all areas or any area of your life. And that's what I've done. Building up my self-confidence by going outside of my comfort zone, learning West African dance, gave me that it helped allowed me to build that foundation in which to build and learn and fortify my self-confidence. And I take that and apply that to all areas of my life because I know I can do it. I know that whatever I put my mind to with enough dedication, enough consistency, I can do it. And you can too. If you want to learn more about how to increase your self-esteem, check out some other videos here on my channel, or either shoot me an email at realizingyourpotentials, the numbers 123 at gmail.com. Again, I'm Dr. Jacqueline Kabah Harrison. Thanks for listening.